Wow, there's like a full house I did not expect. And my grandmother to be the one that opened show today. So just a little bit of introduction. My name is Nhan. I am an artist that works with computers. Right? So my generation belonged to the internet. I grew up online where I learned my style, my culture, and even my love. My first memories with computers was nothing about productivity or precision. It was actually about curiosity and play. I grew up reading Làm bạn với máy vi tính, computer my friend off from my father's bookshelf. I also grew up playing Audition. Anyone knows Audition? I actually met my first love on Audition. So this was a great place. And I also grew up with idol culture, where I burned fakes, Hannah Montana CD, I designed booklet, I also chat to people on the forums, Yahoo Blog, Yahoo Messenger. For me, the computer has never been something that very far away, but rather my friend, my companion, the one that gives me imagination and also a lot of experimentation. But then I grew up. As technology advanced, a lot of things has shifted, especially the relationship between me, human, and my friend, the computer. Everything has shifted. We traded the freedom for convenience. We also traded curiosity for consumption. For example, I no more write Yahoo blog. I also no more make like over cheesy snow effect on my page. I no more make sad playlists just after a breakup. I didn't do it no more. But right now, all the tinkering of the joy is replaced by design-oriented application. And I stop in scroll, like, share, scroll, like, share, and scroll, like, share. Keep on repeat. So amid that polished, standardized, and also heavily commercial kind of context, I constantly long for a relationship, something that on a more emotional level with my long lost friend, the computer. Where is it? Where did it go? So on my journey to search for that, I came across a term called poetic computation, or a lot of people know as like poetic technology. So let's start from it. What is poetic? Poetic, maybe by definition, poetic is something that beautiful, something expressive. For example, sunset at the lake was like, oh my God, it's so poetic. Or the movie that reaching the peak of emotion, we say like, oh, that movie is poetic. So poetic maybe is like to have the ability to express feeling. And just like that, technology can also be poetic. It can also be used to express your feeling. It can also be used to be very personal, very intimate. And poetic technology is actually a genre of art where the artists use technology to convey their feelings, to convey the human condition. For example, memories, care, empathy, and of course emotion. And many of the times, the artists use technology with other media such as writing or drawing or even performance. So why am I here to talk about poetic technology? Just give you a little bit of my more context about me. Besides my personal practice, I am also a founder of an art collective in Saigon. The collective's name Code Surfing. Anyone hear that name before? Okay, I'm not that popular. So our collective, our small collective, we focus on producing research and also practice at the boundary of art and technology with the focus on humanity and politics. And we have made a lot of projects for the past year, but today I would love to introduce you one of my favorite. The artwork name is Để quá khứ sẽ tiếp diễn, or loosely translated into English is For the Past to Continue. So this artwork is very interesting. This is actually a poem screening. And the artist came to us with one question. The question consider about the trees, those trees that are about to cut down to make space for the metro of Saigon. Her inquiry is that, can trees speak? Can tree scream? And if tree can scream, can the tree scream about the trauma that brought up to them by the urbanization of Saigon? So without making you guys wait for a longer time, let's play a little bit now for everyone to see. I think we can skip a little bit of slide and play the video first, so everyone can have the context of what the artwork is. I think, yes, this one. So what you are seeing right here is the footage that recorded along the metro line of Saigon, and the artist as the tree shadow moving. The word in the sunspot will be picked and put into a poem structure, and as the video going on, it will create endless poem by the computer. Alright, so this is the system that we make for the trees to let them make the poem. So what's so special about it? Let's dive into it. The system consists of two parts. As you can see, there's a software right here, and as the tree makes the shadow and the shadow is moving, the camera will capture that and put into the software. And then the artist, she also put a predefined poem structure with vocabularies into the software. And then together, when the shadow is moving, it's going to create the poem that's screening to the audience, which is brilliant. And not stopping at that, these words that you see in the vocabularies, for example, mảng xanh, thông qua, quyết liệt, can you guess where are they from? Can you guess the context where you often see these words? These words are actually harvested from hundreds of governmental documents and articles about urbanization. For example, the word quyết liệt, you're going to see that a lot in the articles. Yeah. And by pairing those vocabularies with the structure said there, which is used to make promise, the artist cleverly create like an endless empty promises made by the authority on the urbanization of Saigon. Those promises that never be fulfilled. Right. And the artwork is performed by holding the system and walk along the metro of Saigon. This to me is very poetic. This work to me is very poetic, not because it is a poem, but because the subject of it is highly poetic. The artist right here, she poured her heart and soul on the empathy and longing for the trees, the silent witnesses of our cities. And also through the making of the art, the tree which cannot speak now can lend a voice so that can speak, which to me is very humane, meaningful, and beautiful. So continue on to the play of technology and language. Also last year, we have another artwork called Viết Syllable Keyboard. So if the quá khứ sẽ tiếp diễn, when you put the word into the predefined rhythm, you make something expressive about feelings. We wonder if words standing alone, can it still be poetic? Or in another word, if Vietnamese, can Vietnamese be poetic without being a poem? Can the language be poetic? Start from that question. I think we should roll back a little bit and talk a little bit more about the definition of poetic. Earlier I said that poetic is something that is expressive, especially for feelings. Actually Vietnamese, if by that definition, Vietnamese is a highly poetic language. Why? Because according to Professor Cao Xuân Hảo, Vietnamese is actually a monosyllabic language. What is a monosyllabic language? Which means that each syllable in Vietnamese already has its meaning and also its sound, its feeling. For example, in English, we have the word engineer. So if you cut the word engineer into syllables like N, G, and near, each of them doesn't make any sense. doesn't have any meaning. But in Vietnamese, if you say đau, it already hurts. When you say xa, I already see the distance between us. Right? So Vietnamese is a monosyllable language with a lot of feeling embedded within each syllable, which makes Vietnamese a very flexible language and also an abundant language. But how abundant it is? How many syllables are there in the Vietnamese? We wonder. How many monosyllables like that? Okay. And then, can you guess how many syllables in Vietnam? How many monosyllables? Từ đơn có trong tiếng Việt. How many people think we have about like 500? 500. One person? Two person? Three person? Don't afraid about your teacher. 500. Okay. How about 700? One person. Okay, let's pump it up a little bit. Let's say 3,000. And the rest? Okay, to our surprise, we have 6,000 monosyllables in our Vietnamese dictionary. And in order to come up with this number, the team actually go through the Vietnamese dictionary of Professor Hoàng Phê, and we use Python, the programming language, to cut the word and then count it. We have 6,000 monosyllables. But it's boring. It's like 6,000, so what? It's a big number, so what? So we didn't stop at that. We continue by, for each syllable, we cut it into 3 components: pre-consonant, value, and post-consonant. For example, the word bánh right here, we continue using programming language to cut it into bờ, á, and nhờ. And then after that, we have 3 big chunks of pre-consonant, values, and post-consonant. And then after that, we shuffle everything. We just shuffle everything and try to create some new words in Vietnamese that may be able to create but have not yet in the dictionary. And by that method, to our surprise, we were able to make 76,000 novel syllables in Vietnamese, which is amazing. So these 76,000 syllables carry 76,000 meanings, rhythm, feelings that still waiting to be named in the dictionary of Vietnamese. For us, this is the abundance of Vietnamese. This is not about the past, the current, but this is the future possibility of our language. So this is highly abundant. Yeah. So in order to make it easier for the audience to interact with us, we make a custom keyboard. And as you can see, this keyboard is a little bit weird compared to the keyboard that you always use. Instead of the QWERTY Western standard, we change it into a syllable. On my far right over there, that is all the pre-consonants in the dictionary of Vietnam. In the middle right here is all the values in the dictionary. You have single values, you have double values, and you also have triple values. The blank right here are those double values that are not yet in the dictionary. And last but not least, here is the small post-consonants in the dictionary. All right? And the keyboard, to us, it allows us to form our language without the interference of Western typing mechanism. Because, for example, the word tình in Vietnamese, nobody gonna spell it like a, n, h. We don't spell like that. We learn y, nhờ, in, tờ, in, tinh, huyền, tình. So this keyboard have like convert our typing back to the syllabic format. Yeah. And also the keyboard right here is serve as a tool for reimagination of our cultural heritage. So the quá khứ sẽ tiếp diễn and the Viet syllable keyboard are just the two among so many other artworks that within our bigger project called our Vietnamese project. The project is 1 year-long project that happened in both Vietnam and also international. Can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so it's our great honor. In August, we have a chance to feature the complex of the project in Hong Kong. And also about this time last year, we also have the honor to present the project at Bảo tàng Phụ nữ Hà Nội. Yeah. And on parallel with the Vietnamese project, we also make a lot of community sharing. All the events take so many different formats, but everything meet together at the intersection of art and technology, and also an interest in language and the resonance with the artist. Yeah. As you can see, here's some of the photos of our first showcase. There's some of the professor from University in Saigon to visit us. All right, so before I finish my talk, let's go back at the beginning. To me, computer has never been boring. Computer has never been commercial. It's actually very personal. It's for the people. It's for the humanity. And before I stop, I have a favorite artist, favorite teacher. And he's also the father of the term poetic technology or poetic computation. His name is Tae-Yoon Choi. In his writing, he's mentioned something. The computer is not a neutral object for static contemplation. The computer is actually a site of fantastic politics and precarious life. It is a machine operating by the logic of capitalism. When our lives are so profoundly affected by algorithms and programs, what are the acts of resistance or dissent that preserve our morality, our humanity? This is the question that I keep asking in my artist journey. This is also the question that so many other artists who work in poetic technology has been looking for. And I hope after today, this is also the question that you ask when you use the computer. My name is Nhan. Thank you for listening.